Hi there everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ashley and today I'm going to be giving you my tips and tricks for easy travel makeup. So this is definitely the time of year when you probably are going to be doing some traveling. Every year we drive to go see my in-laws. They live about 5.5, 6 hours away, so that is a good deal of time spent in the car. I know many of you out there are also going to be flying and you want to have some makeup that is going to be easy and fast to apply without the fear of having it smudge and smear and get there and look just crazy. So these are my tips and tricks. One thing that I definitely will say when I travel, I like to keep my hair really high on my head. I usually put it into a just really quick high bun. That way I don't have it kind of in the way when I'm in my seat and I want to lean back. You girls, you know what I'm talking about. Ponytail right in the back of the head, not super comfortable. So that is something that I recommend. Also, having a good spray with you. I like the Mario Badescu. It is the facial spray with aloe, herbs, and rose water. This stuff is awesome. It's like $7 at Ulta. But this is great to finish off your makeup with. It's also great to bring with you to kind of spritz on right when you land or right when you get there to kind of rejuvenate your look a little bit. So that is something that I definitely recommend, especially since this look here is going to be all powder products. One of the things that I always recommend when you're traveling is less is more. So just a really easy eyeshadow look. I use a powder foundation. I only use a little bit of bronzer. I don't go over the top. So having something like a setting spray or just a moisturizing spray is something that I definitely recommend. So if you want to see how to get this very easy travel look, you are in the right place. Let's get into it. So the first thing that I like to do after I have washed my face and put on my moisturizer, while I'm doing all of my last minute packing and getting ready, I like to wear just a really hydrating sheet mask. This one here is from Too Cool for School. I love this brand. This is actually the same brand of moisturizer that I use every single day and I just love it. It really helps to plump my skin and just infuse it with a lot of that moisture that it is about to lose by being on an airplane or in a car all day long. So I really feel like that's a really good tip to make sure that your skin is just as prepped as possible. And in that same note, I like using this particular primer. This is the Touch and Glow Radiance Cream by Dirty Works. And I love this stuff. It's got argan oil, it's got vitamin E in it, so it's very moisturizing, but it also is a little bit illuminating, as of course the name implies, by Radiance Cream. So it is not like super sparkly or anything. It just gives your skin that little extra something. So I like to just use it like any other primer. Excellent. All right, and then as with any other day, I'm going to go in with an eyeshadow primer. Today I'm using the Smashbox 24-hour photo finish. All right, make sure the lids are prepped and ready to go. So when I'm traveling, I like to make sure that I am being very smart about the products that I bring with me because I don't want to have to bring everything that I own. I like bringing products that will give me a lot of versatility without taking up a ton of space. So when I'm looking at eyeshadow palettes, I really like to bring only one or two if I can get away with it. And one of the palettes that I love traveling with is this one here by Wet n Wild. This is their Comfort Zone palette and it has so much versatility to it. I love it. You have great browns and neutral colors. You also have some really dark colors and you've got that beautiful green color right there. So it does give you a ton of different looks out of just this one little palette, and it's only $5 or so from the drugstore. If you don't have this, I definitely recommend picking it up if you see it at wherever you get your drugstore makeup from. Now the one thing that I will say about it is that all of the colors in there do have shimmer to them. So I also like to bring another palette with me that does have some mattes in there for blending. And the one that I really like traveling with is this one from Tarte. This is their Young, Wild, and Free palette, and it is beautiful. I picked it up from Ulta. It's got just really neutral colors in it, but it's got matte shades, it's got shimmer shades, it has everything, and this blends just beautifully. The shadows are a little bit powdery, but they are so easy to work with, and it smells really, really good. So this is actually what I'm going to be using today. So I'm using these kind of dual-ended brushes from EcoTools, and I like bringing these because, again, I've got more space to work with. I can bring just one that does the function of two, so I feel like that's really smart. So I'm going to take the Simple Life, which is just this matte bone shade. It's just very skin tone, and I'm going to use that to set down the primer that I just put on. And do be careful because there is a ton of... Ooh, I just blinded everybody. So once I've set down that primer with that matte flesh tone color, I'm going to go in with Weekend just in my crease. And I have to go very, very easy with these shadows because they are super pigmented. So if you are looking to pick up this shadow, I do recommend it. Just make sure that you're using a light hand. Otherwise, you're going to go overboard very quickly. And we're not trying to do too much here. We just want to add a little bit of definition and a little bit of separation because, again, this is just easy travel makeup. It's not supposed to be super in-depth or anything over the top. It really is just to create a little bit of dimension on your eye. Okay, so that looks pretty good. It's not, again, it's not perfect, but it really doesn't have to be because we are just traveling and we just want to make sure that we're looking, you know, not crazy. But you can do as much or as little as you like. It really is up to you. Now you can just stop here because we've done exactly what we needed to do. We added just a little bit of definition to our eyes, or you can add just a little bit of shimmery color to the very lid, which is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to use my finger to apply a little bit of Lucky Charm just to my lid itself. Alrighty, and that's really all that I'm going to do with my eyeshadow. Now at this point I'm going to move on to the face. So everything that I'm using today is going to be easy and it's going to be just powder based. I don't want to put super heavy products on my face. I don't want to have to worry about putting on a full foundation. full concealer, the whole 9 yards, and then worry about having it smear or smudge throughout my travel day. You don't want to worry about falling asleep and having just like crazy movement and crinkles. So I generally will stick with just a powder. And the one that I love, It Cosmetics. I have for many years now. I've been a loyal fan and purchaser. And one of my favorites is it's the Your Skin But Better CC powder. This stuff is awesome. I'll be honest, it's not a full coverage powder foundation, but it does do a lot to help neutralize. I've got just a lot of redness throughout the center of my face and on my forehead. It helps to neutralize that while my skin still shows through. So it's not going to cover like my freckles. It's definitely not going to cover my acne scarring down here. It really is just to help even out my skin tone so that I can feel a little bit more confident about the way that I look. Because again, it's just to get me through the travel day. So what I like to use is just kind of a flat top kabuki brush, and then I just sort of press it into my skin. And I find that that is what gives me kind of the best coverage. All right, so as you can see, my tone looks much more even. You can still see the blemish on my forehead, but the redness is reduced. So for me, that's what I really love about this, is that it can give me a more even complexion without feeling heavy and crazy. It's if you've never seen It Cosmetics, it has been formulated by plastic surgeons. It has a lot of really beneficial ingredients in it, and I could not recommend it more highly. It's awesome. So now that we've done that, I actually lied. There is one other thing that we're going to do on the eyes to help kind of bump up the lash line. I'm not going to pull on actual eyeliner, but what I am going to do is, back to this Tarte palette right here, I am going to take just a little bit of Wow right here. This is just the darkest shade, and I'm going to use just an angled eyebrow or eyeliner brush, and I'm just going to kind of press it into my lash line, and that's going to help kind of define it a little bit more without needing, again, full-on eyeliner. You just kind of want to go easy with it and just smudge it out as you go, and just really work it into the roots. So you can already see kind of the difference between these two eyes, that this one just looks a little bit more fuller. It looks a little bit more defined. So we're going to do the same thing on this side as well. There we go, that looks perfect. All right, so back to the face, since I'm jumping around out of order. I'm not gonna wear a ton of products on my face. I'm not going to go in with a full blush. I'm not going to go in with contour and all that jazz. What I am going to do though is I am going to warm up my face with some bronzer. This is my trusted butter bronzer. I'm just going to go in and hit some of the areas of my face, again, to give it a little bit of dimension, similar to what we did on the eyes. There we go. And then the last thing that I'm going to do on the face is I'm going to add a little bit of highlighter, because let's be real, we all need a little highlighter in our life. And I'm going to use the Physicians Formula. This one is the Natural Nude Shimmer Bricks. I love this. And one of the reasons that I like to travel with it is, again, because of its double duty versatility. So it has all of these different colors in here, and some of them you can use as blush toppers, you can use them as mascara, you can use them as eyeshadows, and then of course you can use it as a highlighter, which is what I'm going to do. But this is a really great travel companion, and I definitely recommend it. But I am going to go just really light with it, because this is a very kind of natural, no makeup sort of makeup look, and you don't want to go too overboard unless that's your thing, in which case go for it. So a little bit here on the tops of my cheekbones. And then of course on the nose. And a little on the cupid's bow. All right, and then I'm also going to use this as my highlight for my eyes. I'm going to take just my finger, and I'm going to put a little in my inner corner. There we go. And then I'm also going to take just a touch and highlight underneath my eyebrows. And a little of this does go a long way. It is, or has the potential to be very intense. So definitely use a light hand if you've never used it before. But again, this stuff is great and I love it. So if you want to wear mascara, go for it. I love mascara. I'm a bit of a junkie when it comes to mascara. I can't not use it. But you want to be thoughtful with the type of mascara that you use, because again, when you're traveling, whether it's on the plane or in the car, it is very drying. So if you have a moisturizing formula, that would be my recommendation, but at the same time you also want something that isn't going to smudge on you. So I like using, this is my NYC High Rise. This stuff is seriously like $2. I bought it one day when I was traveling and I had forgotten to bring mascara because apparently I had a seizure while I was packing. But I like this stuff. I would recommend that if you are going to wear mascara, I personally don't prefer waterproof because I feel like it really dries out my eyelashes. And I wouldn't recommend doing your bottom lash line because it's more prone to smearing, and this is all mascaras, is more prone to smearing on your lower lash line. So that is just my recommendation, but you do you. There we go. Just one easy coat. Define your eyelashes a little bit. Looking good. So one of the tricks that I have for my lips is that I want color that is going to last all day long, but that isn't going to dry out like a liquid lipstick will just parch the daylights out of your mouth. I also don't want something that I'm going to have to worry about smearing or smudging. So one of the tricks that I like to do is to take just a lip pencil, just a nude kind of color. This one is by Bella Pierre, but again, whatever your favorite nude lip liner is. And then I fill in my entire lip with it. Alrighty, and then rather than covering with a lip gloss like I normally would for a no makeup day, I like to use, again, something more hydrating because of all of the travel conditions. So I will actually take my Aquaphor and I will use that over the lip liner, and that is going to help to keep the color locked in, but also keep my lips nice and hydrated so that I don't get where I'm going and look crazy and just dried out and crackly, because that is not cute. And it also gives just a very subtle, nice shine to keep your lips looking lifelike and juicy. So that is my completed look for what I usually put on when I travel, so that when I arrive at my final destination, I can look effortlessly lovely. So for those of you that when you do get to your final destination and you want to add just a little bit extra, then there are just some really easy things that you can do to bump up this look. If you want a little bit more going on your eyes, one of the products that I totally recommend are the ColourPop eyeshadows. I like to bring just kind of more neutral, more neutral kind of colors with me. This one is Jinxie, which is a beautiful, just all over the lid, shimmery color. And then this is actually the Kathleen Lights. It is more golden. These are really easy to just kind of pop all over your lid. Takes a couple of seconds and it will help bump up that color, especially if you've been on a particularly long traveling experience and things have kind of faded a little bit. Then this is really a great way to add a little extra, well, pop to your look. Also bringing along just a little bit of blush. You can quickly put that over and that'll help bring a little bit of life back into you. Now, some of the things that I also recommend bringing with you in your travel bag are going to be things like Q-tips, because that's going to help you clean up anything that falls out. But more than that, one of my very favorite products of life, but for traveling as well, are these. These are by Almay. They're called what are these called? Makeup eraser sticks. These things are so dang cool if you've never seen them. So you have, it looks like just a regular Q-tip, except at one end you see there's this kind of purple line. I don't know if you can see really well because my zoom stinks. But there's this just purple line here. And what you do is you actually break that, and then all of the eye makeup remover is in the barrel here, and it just saturates this very end here, so that you can use that to kind of clean up any smudging or smearing, and then you just dry it back off with this side. These are awesome. I love them. I use them every day in my life, it seems like, so I couldn't recommend these more highly, but for traveling, these are a great thing. Of course, makeup remover wipes and things like that are good to have in your travel bag also. So, yes. So I hope you guys have enjoyed my easy travel tips, and I would love to hear some of your travel tips. You know, what are some of the tips and tricks that you use, whether you're flying or driving, or just some of the things that you have picked up over the years. Definitely give me a thumbs up if you've liked this video, and subscribe before you leave. Have a fabulous holiday, and I will see you next time. Bye!